Hey everyone, it's Albie. Welcome back to my channel. I have another review for you today. I just finished a wonderful book that I'm really excited to talk about. It's actually a prequel series to one of my favorite book series you probably already know, and that is I think this is called the Roxby series. Anyway, it's the sort of prequel series to Bridgerton. This is book one in the series, titled Because of Miss Bridgerton. This was a 6-star read. Like I said, I just absolutely loved it. I actually read it kind of slowly, and it's because I didn't want to miss anything. It's sort of like that song from the 90s. I don't want to close my eyes. I don't want to fall asleep because I'll miss you, babe. I didn't want to read this book fast because I didn't want to miss a thing or whatever. But I just absolutely loved it. So in this book, we have our heroine, who is Sibylla, or Billy Bridgerton. She is the eldest Bridgerton sibling of this generation. So this is actually Edmund's eldest sister. And so Edmund, of course, is the father of all of the Bridgerton children of the Bridgerton series. So Daphne, Anthony, Benedict, Colin, etc. Edmund is their father, and Sibylla, Billy Bridgerton, is their aunt. And so this is a prequel series that takes place in 1779 in Kent, England, which is outside of London. I think you actually have like ancestral relations to Kent, possibly. I don't know. But I absolutely just ate this book up. So in the story, we have a really wonderful opening scene. And like my friend on Instagram, Sommelier of Spice, she was like, only Julia Quinn could write a 40-page excerpt of this and have it be fabulous. And this excerpt is the beginning of the book, and Sibylla is trying to help this like cat that was stuck up a tree. So she tries to help this cat on the get down from the tree. She's climbing up. She's in her like work trousers, and she gets stuck on the roof. And lo and behold, she's alone on the roof, stranded. She's hurt her ankle. She can't get down. And she sees George Roxby walking home, you know, strolling along on the way back to his family's estate. And she's like, help, help, get me down. And he sees her. He's like, oh my gosh, this girl is getting me in trouble yet again. And just wonderful banter. Anyway, he tries to go up and help her up on the roof, and they both get stuck. And it is just, oh my gosh, the banter was 100% wonderful. It was chef's kiss, as they say. I just absolutely loved it. So we have that for about 40 pages. And what's interesting is over 100 pages of this book, which is at 375 in the physical, is all within not even 24 hours. It's like from afternoon to evening. The first 100 pages are all that. And it is just wonderful. Like, I saw, I think on one of my Bridgerton books or something, that Julia Quinn was described as the modern day Jane Austen. And excuse me, I never did get that Jane Austen-esque invocation or whatever in the Bridgerton books, but I really got it in this series, or at least in this book. This really did feel like if Jane Austen was writing a book today, it would be like this. It was just wonderful. Like, it was enemies to lovers, but like, you know, not really enemies. It was childhood friends to lovers, which is so good. I'm actually going to do a trope video on childhood friends to lovers because I just read a bunch recently. I loved it, and I feel like I'm just going miles a minute talking about how much I enjoyed it, but it is one of the best 6 stars I've read in a long time. This isn't my favorite book of the year with the 6 stars, because I do have ones in mind for an end of the year video, but this is a full-on 6 star. I just loved it. So George Roxby, which I think the Roxbys might be talked about on the show and in the books, but I couldn't really remember. I know the Smythe Smiths, because they have the horrible musicale in the books. I don't think they've done the musicals in the TV show yet. But they're basically childhood friends. They grew up, the Bridgertons and Roxbys, they have their estates within like, I think, a 3-mile radius. So they've known each other since basically birth. Like, Billy is best friends with Mary Roxby, and they're like maybe 3 weeks or 4 weeks apart from birth, and they've known each other since the crib. And, you know, it's just those wonderful like family dynamics. There are other siblings for each of the Bridgertons and the Roxbys, so I'm assuming that's how the books will play out, where one of the siblings will get a romance. So there's Andrew Roxby, who's a younger brother. There's Edward, yeah, Edward Roxby, who's away at war in America, and I believe book 2 is his romance, and I think it might take place in Revolutionary War America, so that's really exciting. I haven't read, other than like Outlander, which I've just watched the show, but that should be exciting for book 2. But we have that, and then we have, in the Bridgertons, we have, of course, Sibylla, Billy, and then there's Edmund, who's I think like a teenager, and then Georgina, who's a little bit older, and I think there might be one more Bridgerton, but I'm not fully sure. But just wonderful. Like I said, the bantering was just lovely. It was like watching Darcy and Elizabeth Bennet, but even better. And then I just love the slow burn tension when you have like these, like the characters having these feelings. And we do have a trope of the hero falling first, which is also wonderful. And it wasn't fully a grumpy sunshine, but excuse me, I have allergies. It wasn't a grumpy sunshine, but it was like irritated, and they're both irritating each other. So they're both like irritated sunshine. And just to have them like slowly realize that their annoyance is sort of becoming passionate in a different way, more of a romantic passion. It's just so wonderful to see. And like, I just rooted for these characters. There was times in this book that I just laughed out loud with the humor and wit. Like, oh my gosh, it was just like a hug of like a romance novel. I haven't read a romance that this isn't spicy. Like there's one segs, as they say on TikTok, scene like chapter 20 of like 24, so very late in the book. It's just one chapter. You could skip it if you're not into that stuff. But I just love that slow burn, tension, passion. I eat that up more than the other stuff. I just love that, you know, tension between the two. Like one of the hottest books, or not, I haven't read the book, but like one of the hottest movies in my opinion is the 2011 Jane Eyre with Mia Wasikowska and Michael Fassbender. That tension, y'all, you could slice it up and serve it for dessert. It was so good. And you get that with this book, and oh, I just love it. I love when the characters are into each other, but it's not like explicit. It's just like, oh my gosh, I'm ready for them to kiss, or like he's gonna touch her hand or something like so taboo for the time, where it's like, oh my gosh, he saw her ankle, and like your mind's blown. I really do enjoy that in historical romances, where it's like something so like not even sexualized in today's world is like so forbidden and taboo, and like 300 years ago. And I love this book. So if you want a fun historical romance that I'm like really passionate about, I would say pick up Because of Miss Bridgerton. This is book 1. Book 2 is The Girl with the Make-Believe Husband. You don't need to read Bridgerton to enjoy these books. In fact, Madame Delacroix was in this book, and I don't think she was mentioned in the Bridgerton books, but she's on the show. So you don't need to read like the Duke and I and stuff to enjoy this at all. There's no like correlation. I don't even remember Sibylla Billy being talked about in the Bridgerton books. If you know, let me know if that happens. But I absolutely just loved it, and I really want other people to read it too, because I haven't heard a lot of people talk about this series at all. Everyone was like reading Bridgerton, and then they switched to like dark romance or Shoup or Heath or someone else, but I haven't seen a lot of people talk about this series. And hopefully book 2 through 4 are just as good, because this was so good. Like, I loved An Offer from a Gentleman in like When He Was Wicked and The Duke and I from the Bridgerton books, but I really loved this writing even more. Like, it wasn't as sexy as they say, but it was just romantic, it was passionate, and it was everything I wanted as a romance reader. So 6 stars for me. Mild sex scenes. So if you want something mild, if you're a new romance reader, this is the perfect entryway novel. And like I said, you don't have to read the first Bridgerton book, like the Bridgerton series, to read this Bridgerton prequel series. I don't know if you need to read these in order, but this is book 1, and you can get these like on Amazon. This was full price, $8.99, and now they do have new covers. The new covers are kind of not my favorite, but I do have the old cover, and I love it so much. So you can get these for, this full price is like $8.99, but you can get it for probably $5.99 in other stuff, and maybe even like 50 cents at a used bookstore. So I've dabbled on too much. I always do. I hope y'all have had a wonderful day. Let me know, what are some of your favorite historical romances that have that really great tension and banter, but that might be kind of low on the spice, because I've really been enjoying that. And ironically, I'm reading, I almost lost this, Court of the Vampire Queen, which is hella spicy. So I kind of go back and forth. But anyway, I digress. I hope you all have had a wonderful day. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Sharing is even more important. Sharing is caring, as they say. So I'd love to have more people interact with me on my channel to grow and talk more about books. You know, leave a comment. Did you hate this book? Do you hate me? Let me know. I like, people be like, oh, I don't like hate mail. I don't mind. Someone's watched, you know. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see y'all soon.